So you may have noticed that the lucid dreaming stories that I enjoy sharing most are the ones where there's some kind of lesson or something to take away from the story, where I can use the story as an example for something that I want to talk about. So in this case, what I want to talk about today are the differing levels of awareness that you can experience during a lucid dream, the differing levels of lucidity and so on. Hey guys, welcome back to Tipharot, it's me Matt here, and today I'm bringing you another lucid dreaming story, and of course this one is about the differing levels of awareness in a lucid dream. So first up, I have to start this story off by talking about a previous dream that I was experiencing. So in this dream, I was in my house in England. Now, you may have noticed by now from my dreams that this is a popular theme. In fact, most of my dreams tend to be set back in England, where I used to live. I have very few dreams actually of me here in Poland for some reason. It's something that's quite rare for me to actually dream about being here. Most of my dreams are back in England, where I used to live, where I grew up. So I was in my house there in England, and I was in my house. I can't remember particularly what I was doing, but I remember that some guests came over, and they were like family, friends. Like, I didn't know them personally, but some people from my family did. And they were coming to visit, and they were going to be staying a while. And I remember they'd parked outside in the drive, and they had this particular car. And I knew these people sort of, like, I don't know them in the real world, but in my dream I knew of them. Like, I didn't personally know them, but I knew who they were supposed to be. And, you know, I was interacting with them, we were talking, we were sitting down at the table and so on. Then later, and I don't remember the transition here, but I was in another dream. And in this other dream, I instantly became lucid, and I was in my house in England and I became lucid. And so I just decided to start flying around. And I flew out through the wall of the house, out into the driveway, and I saw a car there. And I recognised it as the car from the previous dream. Now, at this point, I would normally be thinking, oh cool, it's that thing from my previous dream. But that wasn't what I thought here. When I saw the car, I thought, hey, wait, that's the car that those guests that are at my house right now parked outside. And it looks just like it, and the license plate is the same. This is weird, this shouldn't be happening in a lucid dream. Except, you know, there's no reason that it couldn't happen, that you couldn't see something that was from real life in your lucid dream if you just experienced it in the real world just before. But that was the weird thing, is I was believing that my previous dream was real waking life. I was lucid in this dream, and yet I didn't remember that my real waking life was not, you know, based in England anymore, and that these people who came to visit me don't actually exist, and that this car didn't exist. I, in that moment, in that lucid dream, believed that was my real life that I'd just gone to sleep from. So it was almost like the opposite of a false awakening. It was like I thought that I had gone to sleep when I'd actually been dreaming all along. And this is not all too uncommon an experience. I haven't had an experience like this in some time actually, but I've had these kind of experiences before where I get lucid, but my level of awareness is so low that I don't recognise the fact that my previous dream was in fact a dream, or I don't remember, you know, details of my real waking life and I confuse them with other dreams and so on. And so I was flying around and I was like, wow, everything looks like the real world. It's like I'm seeing the real world from my previous experience just before I went to sleep. And then I was flying around, and the other thing was that I could see the guests in my house. And so I was seeing them in the house moving around, and I was like, why can I see my real guests in the house when I'm in a dream? That doesn't make any sense. And it never occurred to me the fact that I wasn't really seeing them, but not just that, the fact that they weren't real and that was just a dream that had occurred before. And it was a very weird, surreal experience because my level of awareness was very low. And when I actually woke up, the first thing I thought is just, that was a really weird couple of dreams I just had. And I immediately thought, you know, this is something I need to make a video about because this is kind of interesting, because you're probably going to experience this at some point. One day you're going to be having a dream and you're going to believe things that simply aren't true in that dream because of a previous dream you had, or just because you don't remember your real life in that dream, even though you're lucid. Lucidity doesn't necessarily mean, you know, complete awareness. There are differing levels of lucidity and differing levels of awareness. You can be aware that it's a dream and yet be a complete and utter idiot in that moment and not understand anything about what's going on. You can be certain that it's a dream and still be afraid that if someone hurts you in the dream, it's going to hurt you in the real world, even though you know that that doesn't happen. Or you can be certain that it's a dream, and yet you can think that you can log onto your computer in the dream and access the internet. Or you can be certain that it's a dream, and you can think that you can influence the real world from within your dream. Stuff like that normally you would know is not possible. Just because your level of awareness isn't fully there in some of your lucid dreams, you think it's possible. So keep that in mind. Try to be as aware as you possibly can during your waking life, and that's going to help you be more aware in your lucid dreams, so you're less likely to run into this kind of issue. This doesn't happen very frequently for me, but when I first started, this was actually a fairly common occurrence, that I would just be at an extremely low level of awareness in my lucid dreams. By practicing meditation and trying to become more aware in my day-to-day waking life, that has changed a lot, and so if you're running into any of these issues, that's what you need to work on. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this story. Now, if you want to learn how to lucid dream, I have a 14-part audio course designed to basically hold your hand and ensure that you get your first lucid dream and several more, and that you learn how to control those dreams and do the things you want to do in them. So if you want to check that out, I'll put a link to it up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe for more. And if you want to ensure I can keep making these videos, then be sure to check out my Patreon page. If you want to keep watching, maybe you like this video, maybe you like this video, pick your favourite, go watch that, and I will see you soon. Take care.